Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera from MDC Trading Academy with today's pre-market forecast and preview for the week for Monday, December the 9th. Let's jump to our news items for today. We have no news on the docket for today, Monday, but we have several important news coming up throughout the week, particularly on Wednesday, where we have crude inventories. We have inflation information, and obviously at 2 p.m. we have FOMC statement and federal funds rate. At 2:30 we have followed by a FOMC conference. Thursday and Friday everything happens way before our session, an hour before, and we have the tentative Treasury currency report back on Saturday. So as of today, let's look for our daily chart here as we continue. The market recovers from this dip here, from the all-time highs. Market reaches clear resistance area, support area, begins to recover from here. As expected, we did have a little resistance here on the 20 SMA, but now the market has just continued higher to hopefully start looking to hit that all-time high again at 31.58. That's the overnight 31.58. You don't see it here. But volume has picked up a little bit. We're over at averaging about 145. Our ATR is at a solid 22. We lost a little bit of volatility, and obviously we picked up a little volume, but we want to make sure that we're at 1.1 as an average, 1.1 or greater, and an ATR of at least 14. So that's where we find ourselves. We're going to find a little consolidation here. We have two clear support and resistance areas in a real tight compression, and we can see it more clearly here. Let's look at another time frame here. As you can see, market stays within these trend lines that we have been marking here for weeks here. The market continues to run and retrace. Here's where we were expecting the market, obviously, to continue higher, but it didn't. It came down lower and it found support at a previous important support area, and then it bounces off there. Resistance, 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 and ultimately breaks through. We break through this resistance. Now we're using this particular channel as support. So we're expecting this market to hold a little bit and potentially try to move a little higher. There is no technical reason for the market to move lower. Everything is pointing to the upside, including a daily. If the market decides to move lower, it can run here to this level once again. But again, this is essentially what we've been looking at. Now, if once the market reaches here, the all-time high, or establishes an all-time high, we know we normally retrace from there. So then we'll have a double top at a very critical area. That's something that we have to keep an eye on. Let's look at another time frame here so that we can see it more clearly. Here you go, our markets. There's our all-time high. Market has a huge trend line here that's been holding up the market for a while. We get out of this huge consolidation here. This was the consolidation that we had for weeks and weeks. Market comes down, the whole day was there, breaks through, establishes another one of these support areas, starts to run, and look at this run. Look at this run to the upside. This is an incredible run to the upside. We're finding a little consolidation here. Just think about what's happening in the market here. We ran, market's kind of turning over, and we have a little bit of consolidation here. Here's the market is going to make up its mind because it's clearly compressing between these two areas here. The market is clearly compressing. So here's where the market is going to start determining whether it's going to move higher or whether it's going to move lower. And if it moves lower, then we have support here and a clear area of resistance support where the market can channel between. If the market moves higher, then we're moving towards the all-time high. And of course, we have several areas that we're going to find a little bit of a headwind. As far as our analysis chart here, this is the one that we use to keep our perspective. I just want you to see the run. This is the run. This is the run. We're coming from way down here. We're coming from way down here. A price of 31.0875. We have been running up. Actually, it goes even further than that. It goes further than that. But that's the run that we're talking about. That's the run that we're talking about. It's been unstoppable. Now we hit this is the intraday high from yesterday, and intraday low. You see the market is kind of breaking these critical support and resistance areas. But right now, here's our compression. There's just a higher level compression that we have here. Here is our resistance, our support and our resistance. This is where the market is going to be dancing around. Now remember, the true support and resistance areas are these two here. Okay, anything that happens in between is pretty tentative, and it's pretty much going to decide. Market could potentially give us a run to the downside here, hold serve here, and then try to continue higher. Or if it breaks, then obviously this is the magnet. This is the magnet, and this is where we decide essentially the direction of the market. Because as long as the market remains within this area here, it's going to oscillate. It's just going to oscillate between this area here. We need to see a breakout, a clear breakout of this area here, or a clear breakout to the upside. Doesn't mean we don't find any trades, because we can trade the runs to the short side to this level here, or the runs to the upside to these levels up here. So we do have activity, but just keep in mind the big picture. If I bring our trade chart here, you can see more clearly how within this structure, we have another substructure, much smaller immediate substructure of resistance here. We have a higher time frame, which comes up here, and then we have a lower time frame, which is this one that comes right in here. And this is where I was talking about. Critical areas are this area here and this area here. And that's what we got to keep an eye open today. All right, have a great trading session and a great week.